What's an industry secret in the field you work in? I'm an attorney. The secret is shut the f*** up.
That is something that SidAlpha should really learn to apply to himself, because in his latest video, he has just handed me one hell of a W. What's up, guys? Acerthorn here, and this is the latest in the ongoing saga of me trying to get my harassers to stop harassing me. So as many of you are no doubt aware, I am currently embroiled in a bitter legal feud with quite a few people. People who just hate my guts and who have been reposting a lot of my copyrighted content just to harass and dox me just for its own sake. Now, around this time a year ago, I posted a video saying that I had lost my case due to judicial corruption. Well, some of you who don't actively follow that may be surprised to hear that the judge has reopened my case. So I'm now back in the saddle. And please forgive any explosions you hear in the background. I'm recording this on the 4th of July, and it's 7:30 in my time zone, so of course people are going to be shooting fireworks out their ass. Anyway, now here's the thing. I have since filed an amended complaint in that case because the judge has given me permission to do so. Here's the thing. My haters tend to jump on literally any opportunity they can to sit through my filings and just snicker out their butts. Pick apart every word and just talk about how I'm just a big piece of shit. And, like, for example, it doesn't even have to be a major court filing. I could literally just be updating the court on the defendant's name and address so that they can serve him with process. And then people will be all like, oh my god, he's doxing the defendant. No. I'm just providing the name and address so that he can be served with process. Gah. I mean, you're the ones who keep putting it on fucking YouTube. Anyway, they seem to be... Anytime I file anything, they almost always, invariably, jump on the opportunity to use that as fodder to make a video or a live stream where they just cuss me out and don't even add anything really substantial. They just show it and laugh. And yet, they don't seem to be doing that with this second amended complaint. It's 69 pages long. Yeah, giggity. And so it is a meaty motherfucker. I think it's like 250 paragraphs. And I go into exquisite detail about about all the things they've done to me and how all of these things amount to unclean hands, like I've previously said, and how they really just are just amoral monsters. It's almost, and now that I finally filed this one, it's all that their silence, almost as if they know that I've got them this time. Because why else would they be so keen to pick apart everything that I say in a court filing and just laugh their asses off in it, only to suddenly stop once I file this really, really meaty and really, really detailed version of it? I can only think of one thing. I'm no lawyer. But I suppose even a blind man can hit a bullseye once every 1,000 or so shots. That's what I think just happened here. So anyway, SidAlpha's latest smear video. As of the time of this writing, July 4th, 2023, he has recently posted a video smearing some guy named Reforge Gaming. Now, here's the thing. when I first heard the first few minutes of that video, I thought my eyes widened, my jaw hit the floor, as he said that Reforge was a reaction channel that didn't even follow fair use himself. Is he going where I think he's going with this? Oh, hell yes, he was. So I'm going to provide a card linking you to this video, and I'm also going to provide a link down in the description. Watch that video, and specifically check out the timestamp 11 minutes 27 seconds through 17 minutes 47 seconds. Now, I'm not going to play it here. You know, don't want to create a market substitute or anything. But I just want you to all listen to that. And for those of you who actually follow my court filings, tell me that basically he is saying everything that I've been trying to tell all of you for years. If you follow my court proceedings, go and read the second amended complaint, and specifically go and read paragraphs 171 to 188. Oh yeah. Tell me that what I wrote there, that isn't precisely the same argument as what SidAlpha just gave to debunk Reforge's claim of fair use. Dear God. And for those of you who don't follow my court proceedings, I have a publicly available video on my channel, How Not to Do Fair Use. Basically, I say much the same things there that I said in the court filing. That basically, if all you're doing is just disagreeing with the opinions expressed, that's just the bare minimum transformation, and it's far from going to get you an immediate free pass. It's not fair use automatically. The fact that when you use 100% of the original work, then the third factor is going to weigh against you as a matter of course. Not to mention, when you show the whole work, that's going to create a market substitute per se. Everything that SidAlpha just said in his latest video about Reforge is exactly what I've been saying for years. Now, SidAlpha and I do disagree on a few things. For starters, I insist that opinions cause the second factor to weigh against fair use. He disagrees. He believes that it would still fall, that the second factor of fair use would still side with Reforge. I also would add, SidAlpha doesn't make a comment on this one way or another, I would also add that commercialization, i.e. putting ads on your videos, accepting super thanks and super chats and stuff, that weighs against the first factor of fair use, and so when you consider the bare minimum transformation that simply agreeing or disagreeing with the opinions amounts to, the overall first factor of fair use probably would weigh against fair use. But other than that, we are 99% on the same page regarding what fair use means. Now see, by making this argument against Reforge publicly, he has handed me a huge win in the reopened case. Because remember, he's a co-defendant in that case. That means that by admitting that at least one, a lot more than just one, at least one of his co-defendants that a lot of his co-defendants actually have very weak cases for fair use, he is signing himself up to be jointly liable. Yeah, bear in mind, these co-defendants, they aren't co-defendants in the same case because they're all acting independently. No, it is one singular, collaborative effort to ruin me. One group, one collective goal. They are all working together. SidAlpha collaborated with all of them to make his smear video about me, which makes him a co-conspirator. That means that they're all jointly liable for everyone else's actions, as long as those actions were tortuous, which by this point he's now admitting that at the very least, the one that I mentioned in paragraphs 171 to 188, he's admitting that at least that much is going to be tortuous. Possibly a lot more. We'll have to wait and see how the judge feels. But he's also handed me another huge W. See, in addition to suing him in that reopened case, I'm also suing him for slander. And this time the case was never dismissed in the first place, not let alone reopened. See, when he made his smear video about me, he made it clear that he considers me to have abused the DMCA and have made false claims except for one video. A video by Artemis Wolf. In this smear video, it's important to keep in mind, now bear in mind, he clearly has made it clear that he thinks that every other one of my DMCA takedowns were fraudulent, except for that one. He rejects the law that says that as long as I consider fair use in any capacity, I am legally clean under Section 512F. No, instead, he believes that I have to consider his version of fair use. That's not the law, but he says that's the law. He thinks that's the law, and in making that, and it's saying that I broke the law because of that, he was slandering me by saying because if he had just said that I was just acting unethically and that I should have considered more fair use than what I actually did, then in California, which is the state I'm trying to get the case heard in, they acknowledge that simply expressions of grave disapproval of non-criminal behavior is still constitutionally protected. But he didn't say that about me. He said that I was breaking the law. Big difference. So here's the thing. About at least a half a dozen that I can think of off the top of my head, other videos that I struck followed basically the same format of reaction videos, of low-effort reaction videos that he criticizes Reforge for using. Yeah, where they just read the whole thing, or in my case, watch the whole video, and occasionally intersperse it with mostly just them agreeing or disagreeing with my opinions, and very rarely coming up with anything more than that. And yeah, that's basically the format for at least a half a dozen videos that I had taken down. Now that's part of the reopened case. If they didn't file a counter notification, I wasn't going to sue them for it. But there's at least a half a dozen other cases that I had taken down, and that SidAlpha outright says were fraudulent of me to have them taken down. But here, now he's admitting to what he considers to be the correct standard for fair use, and even by his standards, I still considered fair use on at least a half a dozen videos that he previously criticized me for. Now, how is this handing me a W, you might ask? Well, because it proves actual malice under defamation law. I'm not a public figure, and my lawyer, who works for the Federal Pro Bono Office in the Northern District of California, she agrees that I'm not a public figure just because when my biggest claim to fame here is having a YouTube channel with less than 3,400 subscribers, that is not good enough to make me a public figure. But if I prove actual malice, I can still get punitive damages against him. And here, he's just admitted publicly to actual malice. See, he either knew or he should have known that a lot more than just one of my DMCA takedowns was legit, yet he accused me of breaking the law anyway. This isn't a case of him being mistaken about by his own admission now. He isn't mistaken about the law, he's lying. Capital L, lying. Because by his own admission, at least a half a dozen other videos, either he knew or should have known, were just as weak a case for fair use as Reforge's videos are. Now, maybe the closest you could come to giving him even a scintilla of benefit of the doubt is that he thought he was telling the truth when he made his smear video about me, but then, sometime later, learned the true correct standard for fair use, possibly from my second amended complaint, though I doubt it. As I said earlier, a lot of these people seem to be oddly silent about raking me over the coals over that second amended complaint, because it seems like this is one of those 1 in 1,000 blind bullseye shots. But I highly doubt that actually happened. I highly doubt that that's actually what caused SidAlpha to suddenly take on this new standard of this new understanding of what fair use actually entails. But even in the 1 in a million chance that he might have genuinely believed at the time he published the smear video about me that his previous understanding of fair use was the correct one, well, guess what? That still doesn't save him. And I'm going to provide a screenshot of a legal treatise explaining exactly why. I'll even post a link to this treatise down in the description. And I'll just let that treatise speak for itself. So in conclusion, SidAlpha, if you're watching, and I know you are, don't bother taking the Reforge video down. I've already downloaded it. I can already provide evidence of it in court. And you can bet your ass that I'm gonna provide evidence for this in court. In the meantime, however, I am Acerthorn, and I'll see you guys next time. And SidAlpha, I'll see you in court. Peace!